Awesome. Solar Icons family, welcome to yet another fireside chat on Monday. We have the one and only Mr. Kevin Moeller back. He is going to be taking a deep dive on who to call, why we're calling them, who's next on our list. He's going to talk about how we identify that hot sheet and also share some statistics that are going to be really important for all the prospectors on this call today, but also all the marketers. So I will move out of the way. Kevin Moeller, how are you today, sir?
Man, I'm blessed, Aaron. Appreciate you. Glad to be here.
Absolutely, man. Do your thing, buddy.
Awesome. Let me go ahead and share my screen and we will kick it off. So, Power family, excited to be here to talk to you about the Nrgize app, how you can use this to amplify your efforts in your business so you can get more done in less time, or just double down and just get way more done than you could without it. This is the tech that can change the game for you and for your prospecting. As we know, because it's not just theory, some of the top top Powur recruiters in the entire company are using this platform. And I can promise you this, it's going to do nothing but improve and get better as we move on and add more content and do some of the things that we're going to do, technological advancements that the underlying tech working on this year. So very soon we'll have some new things rolling out that you're going to be very excited about. So we're going to talk about the hot list, the activity log, some statistics, which boils down to one thing, which is how do you figure out who you should be calling next to keep an eye on your hottest prospects that are statistically most likely to become a new Powur customer or to join your Powur team. So if you're brand new here, congratulations. You picked the right industry at the right time, in my humble opinion, and you definitely have the right leadership to be partnered up with. So you can go to solariconsteam.com and you can download this app. Again, solariconsteam.com. It's available both on mobile and on desktop. I will tell you there's some things you can do on your mobile app that you can't do on desktop. There's some things you can do on desktop that you can't do on your mobile application, but paired up this technology with your efforts will bear fruit. I can promise you that. So the difficulties that we're addressing in today's training is how can you tell if somebody's really interested in solar, be it the business of solar or doing solar at their own home, their residence? How can you tell if someone's really interested or if they're just being nice to you? We live in a culture today, which is unfortunate, but it is true that a lot of people are just kind enough to shake their head, bob their head, and smile when you talk to them about something that they may have absolutely zero interest in. So we have to be able to know, because we can't follow up with unqualified prospects forever. We need to be able to tell if someone's really actually interested in solar, again, be it the business of solar or to use solar at their residence. And we need to be able to tell if they even look at what we sent them. Years ago, we didn't have any type of data like that. When you went to prospect somebody as a client or as someone to partner with in business, you had no idea what they were reviewing, if they even received what you sent, much less actually reviewed it. And then when should you follow up with somebody? Because you don't want to bug them, but you also don't want to lose them. So where's the sweet spot in between? How can you use technology to help you to see where and how often you should follow up? And then also, how do we get away from having to use our memory on what we've sent somebody last? Our hottest prospects that we've talked to recently, it's pretty easy to remember what we've sent them. But what happens when you have a prospect from 6 months ago who went cold? They stopped responding. They didn't answer your calls. They stopped responding to texts. They didn't respond to an email, and you moved on with your life and moved on in your business. And all of a sudden, 6 months later, they start looking at content and reaching back out to you. How are we going to remember where we were at in the process with this prospect that we've basically just written off, who's now become a qualified, interested potential buyer? How do we remember that? And do we have a system that's robust, that does a lot of the heavy lifting for us? Or do we have some antiquated system like a notebook, which can be lost and you can lose a lot of money if you lose your database, right? Or something that we have to stop and take notes on, that we don't have all the content there on what we've sent them and where we left off in the conversation. Those are the difficulties that have a solution. The Nrgize application has the solution to that. There's a hot prospect algorithm that's working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to identify your statistically most inclined, most educated, most excited prospects. Again, they're statistically more likely to become a new Powur customer or a new Powur rep if they're consuming content. I think we can all agree with that. So you don't need to memorize how the algorithm works, but you do need to know how powerful it is. So you don't have to take notes on what I'm about to say, but I want you to wrap your head around the Nrgize application is designed to do incredibly technological things on the back end, but make it super simple for you as a user on the front end. That's how it's designed. It's designed where you don't need a user's manual to plug in and start to use it. Now, yeah, we can do trainings like we're doing right now to help you optimize your use of the platform, but it's designed to be simple for you, but on the back end, it's doing something very powerful. The way the algorithm works is it's a complex set of variables that it's analyzing on every contact that you add and that you prospect using the Nrgize platform. So every single prospect that you have has a score from 0 to 100. Obviously 100 being the higher quality prospect that's looking at more content, that's more educated on Powur, that's consuming information from you. And a 0 would be someone who's not looked at anything. So they're all going to range in between 0 and 100, 100 being your most likely individual to take action. The way that algorithm is working is it takes all this data set points, like what has this prospect seen? How many pieces of content have they seen? Have they watched a video about Powur? Have they watched over 90%? They get bonus points. Have they opted into an email campaign? Have they opted out of an email campaign? It takes points off of their score. How long has it been since they've last looked at some information about solar? The longer it goes, the more it starts to take off slivers of their score. So it's real time looking at all of your different contacts and giving you a score, and 75% of the score is done by the algorithm. The other 25% of the score is based on how you actually rate that prospect. Let me give you an example. So I meet Aaron at Starbucks. Aaron's a real estate beast, killing it in real estate. He's a real estate investor. He sells real estate. He's a real estate broker, highly energized, money motivated, loves people, very articulate, speaks well, open-minded. Obviously, with those characteristics, that's a 5-star prospect, right? So I rate Aaron as 5 stars. Now I meet Sally, and Sally's kind of she's open to making some extra income, but she doesn't have it real bad. Her husband makes good money. She's a stay-at-home mom. She's thought about maybe going into the workforce. She's just not really all motivated, but she's somewhat open-minded, okay? So she has an opportunity. So I give her 2 stars. Let's say that Sally and Aaron both look at the same exact content that I send them. I send Aaron a video and I send Sally a video. Because Aaron has 5 stars that I've rated him, the same video that he watches is going to give him more points on the algorithm than Sally, who watches the same video, who has less points that I've assigned her. Why? Because which one should be my biggest priority? If I had to choose to follow up with one prospect and they both looked at the same information, which one would you want to follow up with first? Would it be Aaron or would it be Sally? I think hands down, we would all vote Aaron in that example. That's how powerful this is. It works in conjunction with your score, with the data set points of the algorithm on the back end combined to give you a score. And we're going to look at see how that works here in just a second. But what it makes happen is people can feel confident following up. If someone's consuming information about solar, they are interested in solar. Pretty simple. If I sent them information 2, 3, 4 times and I continue to follow up and they're not looking at anything I send them, they're either not getting my inquiries, or they're not interested, or they're just mega busy and I just need to continue following up. And that part, technology can't help you. You're just gonna have to go with your hunch. If you talk to somebody who's massively successful, very busy, it might be a perfect prospect that you have to follow up with a lot of times to get them to look. But generally speaking, if I can't get somebody to look at information, they're not interested. So you can get confident when people are consuming information, and it kills procrastination, because literally spending 5 minutes here and there is enough. If you're at the doctor's office and you're waiting for them to call your name and you're sitting there waiting, you can use the activity log to see who you should be talking to next, which is really cool. So we're going to look at those really quickly. Let me switch from my desktop over to mobile. Give me 1 second so we can take a look at the Nrgize app together, and we'll look at some of these features. All right, so here we go. Here is the Nrgize app. This is what you see when you log in to this. Let me turn my cursor on. There we go. Okay, so where we're going to go right now is we're going to go over to our contacts, because that's what this is all about today. And you can see here, this is a demo account, but you can see all these different scores here. Mitch Mallet, 69 points. Blair's got 65. Cameron's got 57. Peter's got 54. Chris has 50. Now, these are obviously in descending order as far as the score, because that's how I have this list sorted. So you may see yours has 30 points, 47 points, 91 points, 12 points. Yours may be all over the place. What do? You go to this sort button up here at the top. And when you click on that sort button, you can sort by the score, which is obviously where I already had it. And you hit done, and your highest scoring prospect will be at the top. That's a great view for you to be able just to dial down and talk to people who have the highest score. Again, they have the highest likelihood of becoming a new Powur client or Powur rep. Okay. But you also see the 5-star rating here. You see all these prospects have 5 stars. If I scroll down here, Miguel has none, Bob has 4, all these have 5, Peter has 3, Dan has 2, right? If you want to change the score of a prospect, by default, they're all on 0. That way everybody's scored the same in the algorithm. It's up to you to upgrade them to 1 to 5 stars. But let's just say Colby, I want to give him 3 stars. I just tap on number 3, the 3rd star, and it says, are you sure you want to change the rating? I'm going to say yes. So now again, if Colby and Dan look at the same content, Colby's going to get more scores, more higher points in the algorithm than Dan, because Colby's got 3 stars and I'm telling the platform that he is a bigger prospect to me than Dan. So why is that important? You need to take time to rate your contacts. Take time to rate them from 1 to 5 stars. It doesn't take long. It's easy to change the score. You can just do it on the fly, but it's going to help that algorithm be even more intelligent with your help than it would be without it. Okay. Now, what about the hot prospect algorithm? You see all these different prospects have the little flame emoji at the top. Why? Because they have over 50 points. And when somebody spikes the score up to 50, they have this little emoji thing that pops up, a little fire emblem to let you know this is a hot prospect. They're consuming information. They're becoming more educated on your product and your different offerings, and you need to reach out to them to carry on the conversation, which is just very helpful. And then also what I want to share with you is the activity log. Now, every single prospect that you have that's in here, we're going to click on Blair, okay? They have their own activity log. This is how you know. Like Blair all of a sudden went from not talking to me for 6 months to consuming information from the email campaign and looking at links that I sent her 6 months ago from the text message. And I don't remember what I sent Blair. I can go to the activity log and click on that, and it'll show me every piece of action that she's taken from anything that I've sent her in this entire platform. Is that not amazing? Look at that. Like, just consumed information, when they did it, when I sent something, when they looked at it, how much of it that they looked at. It's so powerful. But that's the activity log on one person. Wouldn't it be cool to be able to see what everybody's done in sequential order? Well, you can do that. If you go to your contacts list, which we're on right now, and you navigate over here to the activity log, this will show you every action that every person in your entire database has taken in order. So I want you to envision something. This is a demo account, okay? So obviously the last action was June 19th, and before that, June 16th, June 12th, but that's how it works, right? In sequential order. But wouldn't it be cool for you to wake up in the morning and click on the activity log and then all of a sudden see that at 10:30 a.m., John clicked this, and at 10:29 a.m., Sally clicked on that, and at 9:15 a.m., Doug did that, like a whole list of prospects that are looking at information. Because remember, this is everything. This is someone who clicked on your business card. This is somebody who filled out a survey on social media. This is somebody who clicked a link to watch a video on Powur. This is somebody who opened up an email from an email campaign and clicked on a link. Everything will be right there in the activity log. It's like being able to come out of your own body, survey all of your prospects like an alien, and see what they've all done in the last 24 hours. So you know who you should talk to who's looking at information. Because again, people are not going to look at information unless they're A, they're interested, or B, they're curious. That is it. Other than that, they don't have time. Even people who sit down and watch TV every day, which I am not one of those people. I have a farm and a child and all kinds of stuff to take care of. I don't sit down and watch TV. But even people who sit down and binge watch Netflix think they're busy. And I promise you, they would rather watch their favorite TV show than look at solar if they're not interested in solar. So it gives you what you need to feel confident in the follow-up, which is amazing. Because like I said, without this type of technology, we would just have to follow up with everybody, which we should do. That's a good thing to do. But I'd rather follow up with those who are statistically most likely to take action first, and follow up with those who are statistically less likely to take action second, if I had the order of doing things myself. So that's what we wanted to share with you today, that you can use to increase your prospecting results using your prospecting efforts. The challenge is to use this information. So use the hot prospect algorithm, identify 3 prospects today that you're going to follow up with today, if you're willing, but at least in the next 24 hours, and plan on what you're going to do. So look at the algorithm, play around with your contacts, look at the scores, play around with the star rating, find 3 people that you say, hey, I'm going to reach out to them today, at least by tomorrow. And then what are you going to do? How are you going to reach out to them? What are you going to say? Are you going to call them? Are you going to text them? Are you going to email them? Are you going to send them a message on social media? Are you going to ask them to book a meeting with you on Zoom? I don't know. Figure it out and set your action plan on at least 3 prospects today. And if you do, that means you accept the challenge. Let us know. And if you're watching this on replay, send a message to the person who brought you an amazing opportunity with Powur. Let them know that you've accepted the challenge. And congratulations to those of you who have made that decision. So what we're going to talk about next week is that sometimes it's not just about the money. That's both for some of you on this Zoom, but it's 100% of you if you're building an organization. Some people are not just motivated by money. So if we work on every aspect of someone's motivation, not only our own, we're going to increase our own motivation in the business as well as people that are around us. And we all run faster with someone on the track beside us. So we're going to talk about not just contests and leaderboards, but how do we intelligently use them in a way to build our business? That's number 1. Number 2, we have a huge announcement that we're going to make next week. So we encourage you to be on because it's going to add to the growth of everybody that's here. I promise you that. So we have a big announcement that we'll make next week, and we look forward to unveiling that with you, so to speak. So with that being said, Aaron, my friend, I appreciate you, and I'll turn it back over to you.